Hello, everybody. This is Carol from Friendly Quail. Thanks for being with me today. I'm going to do another step in my Journeys Through Bookland journals, and I'm going to be sewing the signatures in. I'm not finished decorating it yet, but I've got everything done that I want sewing on. So I'll decorate the rest as once it's in the book. And that way I can make sure I don't make it too fat. Last time I showed you how I had drawn the lines on this piece of file folder, and I drew lines where each hole was going to be, so I went ahead and pushed through my little awl. I don't need the really big one with big holes because this is so, this will be a smaller needle. The thread isn't as fat as what I would use if I was only doing like a chunky 2 or 3, usually 3 signatures. So I've got those poked through, and it's also through the fabric. Now the other thing, and I forgot to show you this, is I folded a piece of cardstock as well, marked top on it, and then I laid it next to this one, and I marked where, maybe you can see it better on this one, I don't know. I marked where the lines were on here for the 5 different things, and then I poked holes through that, and this is what I'm going to use to poke the holes in my signatures. So I'm going to get this out of the way. I really don't need that again. Now when I do my signatures, I go through them and I make sure everything is as it should be. That I've got everything in the right direction, in the right order. And I just kind of will line that up, make sure it's right. Making sure here. Now I have either 5 or 6 signatures. Folios or pages, papers in my book. So, well, this is something I did. I put a flip with a cluster on it already. But I will put these, and I will get everything lined up the way I want it, and you can use binder clips or whatever, but these are flatter and I kind of like them. And I will put them on both sides. This one I'm putting kind of close to the center, because then I can put this in the middle. I can get that underneath that a little bit. Now that's kind of folded in there. If I had one of those things that you can put your book in and poke holes through, I'd use it, but this works too. What I do though is I hold it from the side, and I put my awl where I want the hole to be, and then I kind of close it up and poke it through so that it's coming, gotta see where this is, it's coming out right on the edge where I want it to. And then I'll line it, make sure, and I'll do my second one. I'll line that up again. So I'm always poking through from, kind of closing it a little bit and poking through from the side. And that's it. And I don't need those holes super big. Then take your template out, because you don't want to sew that into your signature. Now for doing the hollow back spine, you want to sew your signatures on this side so that this is the nice fabric. So you have to go in from this side. This will be the back. I'm using a crochet cotton that I got at a thrift store, and you go 3 times, just like other types of signatures, you go 3 times the length of your page, and then you've got that piece of thread. Now, like I said, this would not work for a big chunky 2 or 3 signature journal. It's too thin, but it'll work good for this. So I like to do my first signature in, and it's actually, you can write that on there in reverse order. So I started over here with 1 because when I turn that around, that'll be the first signature on this side. Okay, I go in through the middle. There's lots of videos about how to do, you could do it with 3. I'm using 5. I just have to find my hole through, and then go through the middle. Now sometimes with this, I know I'm going to end up cutting part of it off. I'll make a knot that's too big to go through the hole, so that if I accidentally pull it too far, it doesn't go all the way through. All right, so I'm through the middle. I'm going to go down to the second one down and go through to the back. Always pulling this out so I'm only getting 1 thread. Then I'm going to go, whoops, I didn't get through the hole. Whoops. Got to take that back out. Because I have to get it through the card too. Okay. So I'll go through this, and then I'll look for where it is. Because it's still not, it's pretty floppy right now. See how I did that? I already pulled that in too far. Okay. Now I know what people don't like to do this on camera. Okay, now I'm going to go down to the bottom hole, and I'm going to go through, find it. I'll go through here. Sometimes what I do is I go through the hole from this angle to see where it is. And it's right there. Okay. Again, now I'm going to kind of snug that up a little bit. I'm holding on to the beginning, and I'm holding on to this end here. Now I have to go back up here and go through the same hole. This is a tapestry needle, by the way. Go through the same hole, make sure I come to the back. Get through that hole where I'm supposed to be. Okay. And now I'm going to go up to the middle hole and go down through that, and again hold this, and make sure that when you go through, you're not splitting your thread. You want to come up kind of next to it, so you're not through it. Yeah. Okay. Now at this point, I've got the bottom 2 in, and I can kind of pull that snug. There we go. I like to figure you want to pluck them like a guitar string. Okay. Now I'm going to go up to the next hole, and find that one. Go to the back, go through this. Again, you can go through this first, if you want, and then find the hole in your signature. Oops. So now this is what I just stitched. I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to go back down to the second from the top here again. You can kind of see from the side where you're going, and go up next to that one. So I'm pulling this snug. Now I'm going to go back to the center, go underneath, and I'm going to tie a square knot. Yeah, I made sure that they're tight enough. Okay. Now there's various ways you can put your signatures in. There's lots of different stitches. There's tutorials probably for all of them on YouTube. I'm going to get my thread ready for my next signature and do it one more time on camera. Now I have to find my next one. Once I've got them in here, then you can take these off. If you want to, put one back on so that, you know, it's held together. I only have one on this so far. Put the second one on here, kind of in the middle. I made sure they were all lined up. Make sure this is top, and get that seated into that fold in the right place. Okay. All right. Get my awl, and I'll put it through, making sure I'm getting right on the middle of that fold. See how it comes out right on the fold. And there we go. So I've got the holes in this one. I'm going to move this over a little bit. I need to get my thread, and I have one here that I already had measured out, and I put a big kind of blobby knot there, so hopefully it won't go through. All right, and I'll start in the center, and now it'll be easier if I do it this way. This is signature number 2. I've got 2 up here, and I'm going through there. And kind of hold this so that it doesn't go all the way through. Go down to the next one, going down on line 2, poke it through, find that hole in your signature. It's always floppy, the first ones that you do, the first lines. It gets easier as you go along. Not with each signature, but each as you get more stitches in. Okay, so I'm coming up in the next hole. Okay, now I'm going to go down in this hole and find that bottom hole on my second line. Sometimes I can see it through where the hole came out the fabric. Okay. And now I'm going to go the opposite way. You're kind of like making a figure 8, if that makes sense. Come up next to it in this one. Pull it snug. Go down through the middle one. Make sure you're coming out in the right place. Oops, I dropped my needle. There, now I'm coming out the middle there. And pull that snug. So you got one figure 8 done. And now you're going to do your next one. You're going to go up here and go to the second hole. Now you could go to the top first and the bottom second, doesn't matter. As long as you kind of do that figure 8. Find where my hole is here. And then my hole on the second line here. I'm kind of looking through. Okay, pull that snug, going back to that second hole. See, once you've been through it, it's kind of holding it. It's not as hard. And I'm ready to tie my knot. So I've got 2 of the 7 sewn in. And I'm going to knot this, make sure these are tight enough. And without being, they don't have to be super, super tight, but you want them snug. Do your square knot. Oops, I was supposed to go through. Oh, I did it backwards. I started in the front. Oh, well, that's a mistake that I made, so you don't have to. I think I'm just going to cut this and start over. I go through the middle when I'm going to tie them in the middle, but on the hollow back spine, I don't want that in the middle. I want to start from the back. It's the same pattern, but starting from the back. So you get to see it again. And then I'll sew the rest in off camera so I don't, I can't talk and chew gum at the same time. I've said that before. It's hard to talk and do it, remember everything right. Okay, so I'm going to come back through here and start in the back the way I was supposed to. And it all went together so well. You're probably screaming at me, what are you doing? Okay. Go down. Find that second hole. This time I went to the top. See, it doesn't matter, top or bottom, what you do first. Just happened to be the way I was holding it. Okay. I only want these threads in here, not the knots. Until it's tight. I always have to check where the hole is and what I'm doing. Okay, now, again, I'm going to hold this and pull this snug and go back through the center. Okay. Going to pull this tight. Right, now I'll go up here, go through. If you need to go through and then find the hole separate, you can do that. You know, go through like this. Now I only have to worry about finding the hole in there, and it's in the second signature row. That's what I wanted. Go in up here. Find the hole in your signature. Go through it. All right, now I'm ready to do the second half of the figure 8. Go down through the second from the top hole. Making sure that you do not go through the thread and split it, but go kind of next to it. You can tell, because if you can't pull it tight like that, what I just did, then that means you split the thread. It won't pull if you have done that. So now I'm ready to make my knot. This time I'm really done. Okay. Square knot is either right over left and then left over right, or the opposite. Doesn't matter. As long as you do right over left and then left over right. Okay. Now these are going to just get glued in here when I complete it. So 2 down, 5 to go. I will be back when in the next video ready to show you what you do next. Okay. I will see you then. Thanks for being with me, and I hope your signature goes in better than mine did. It's good. I just had to redo the one, so it works. And so this is Friendly Quail. Thanks for being with me today. Get those signatures sewed in. Bye.